Welcome to our channel. Today, we discuss a topic that is both fascinating and alarming: how China's social credit system might be coming to your country. You might have heard about it in passing, often painted as something out of a dystopian sci-fi movie, but the reality is far more complex and closer to home than many of us think. The idea of a system that tracks, scores, and even punishes citizens based on their behavior sounds extreme, yet elements of it are quietly appearing around the world. But what does this mean for you, for society, and for the way we understand freedom in the modern era? China's social credit system, in its most ambitious form, is designed to monitor almost every aspect of a citizen's life. It integrates financial behavior, social interactions, online activity, and even habits like whether someone pays their bills on time or obeys traffic rules. Every action can either boost or lower a person's score, and this score can determine access to things we often take for granted: the ability to travel freely, rent a home, secure loans, or even enroll children in certain schools. It's a blend of surveillance technology, data analytics, and behavioral nudging, where the state actively encourages good behavior and punishes bad behavior in ways that feel tangible and immediate. Now, you might wonder, this is China. How could something like this ever happen in my country? But consider how quickly technology spreads and how governments look to one another for inspiration. We already live in a world where our data is constantly collected by apps, social media platforms, and online services. Every purchase, search, post, and even physical movement can be tracked. Algorithms can assess our preferences, our behavior patterns, and sometimes even predict our next steps. What China has done is formalize this into a governmental system with direct consequences. Meanwhile, other countries experiment with softer versions of behavior scoring through credit systems, insurance algorithms, and even reputation scores for online marketplaces. The seeds of social credit systems are already here, and they're growing in ways that are often invisible to the public. The concept itself isn't entirely new. Historically, societies have always tried to regulate behavior, often through social pressure, legal systems, or moral expectations. What's different today is the scale and precision enabled by modern technology. AI and big data allow monitoring on an unprecedented level. Imagine if every minor infraction, from a missed payment to a rude online comment, could influence your eligibility for services, employment, or social privileges. This isn't just a theoretical exercise, it's already happening in pilot projects, tech-driven insurance policies, and loyalty programs worldwide. One striking aspect of China's system is the integration of offline and online behavior. In the West, we often think of online reputations as separate from real life, like your social media profile versus your credit score. But in China, your digital actions can have real-world consequences. If you spread misinformation, fail to repay a loan, or engage in activities deemed socially undesirable, you might find yourself banned from flights, barred from certain jobs, or even excluded from prestigious schools. It's a direct, data-driven feedback loop, where the system continuously evaluates and enforces what it considers trustworthiness. And that's where the debate intensifies. Supporters argue that it reduces fraud, encourages civic responsibility, and promotes social order. Critics warn that it threatens privacy, personal freedom, and even democracy itself. The system doesn't just track actions, it creates a moral hierarchy dictated by algorithms and authorities. When behavior is quantified in this way, the definition of good or bad behavior becomes subjective, and those in control of the scoring system hold immense power over individuals' lives. This raises crucial questions about fairness, accountability, and the right to make mistakes. So, how could something like this appear outside China? Let's start with the fact that many countries are experimenting with digital identity verification, credit scoring, and even trustworthiness metrics. For example, fintech companies increasingly use AI to assess loan eligibility by analyzing spending habits, social media presence, and online activity. Insurance companies adjust premiums based on driving habits recorded by telematics devices. Governments are exploring digital ID cards that could eventually be linked to online behavior or tax compliance. While these systems are not labeled social credit, the functional similarities are clear: behavior is tracked, scored, and linked to tangible consequences. A more subtle example is the rise of corporate reputation scoring. Platforms like Uber, Airbnb, and other sharing economy services use ratings to determine access. If you get a low score, your ability to use the service diminishes, echoing the punitive aspects of social credit systems. Meanwhile, governments collaborate with tech companies to enforce laws and monitor citizens more efficiently. The combination of private and public data creates a near-perfect storm, a network of surveillance and scoring mechanisms that can influence every aspect of your life without a single law explicitly banning behavior. But let's not panic just yet. These systems evolve incrementally. What begins as a credit algorithm or insurance adjustment can slowly expand into broader societal evaluation. It starts with convenience, better financial tools, safer services, and fraud prevention. But the danger lies in scope creep. Once a system is in place and normalized, extending it into new areas becomes easier. Suddenly, something that was meant to optimize efficiency transforms into a mechanism of control. The question we must ask ourselves is not only about feasibility but also about acceptance. How do citizens respond when offered the choice between convenience and autonomy? Studies show that people are often willing to trade privacy for benefits like faster transactions, personalized services, or easier access to loans. This willingness creates a fertile environment for social credit-style systems to take root, even in democratic societies. What's crucial is awareness, understanding that these algorithms are not neutral, they encode the values and priorities of whoever designs them. Accepting convenience without scrutiny can lead to unforeseen consequences. Technology itself is neutral, but its applications are not. The same AI algorithms that help prevent fraud or enhance customer experience can be repurposed to monitor behavior and enforce conformity. Facial recognition cameras, geolocation tracking, biometric authentication, and online behavior monitoring, once tools for security or convenience, become instruments of social scoring. And unlike in China, where the system is government-driven and centralized, in other countries it could emerge in a hybrid form, partially corporate, partially state-controlled, and always opaque to the average citizen. This complexity makes it even harder to identify, challenge, or regulate. Now let's talk about the psychological impact. Humans respond to incentives, and social credit systems exploit this basic principle. When people know they are being scored, they adjust their behavior, sometimes in positive ways, sometimes in superficial or manipulative ways. In China, people report avoiding minor infractions or participating in state-approved activities simply to maintain a good score. Imagine that phenomenon on a global scale, where every decision, from how you spend money to what you post online, could be quantified and rewarded or punished. It changes not just behavior, but the way we think about morality, trust, and community, and then there's the ethical dimension. Who decides what is good or bad? How transparent are the algorithms? What checks exist to prevent abuse or bias? In a system that uses AI to assess complex human behavior, errors are inevitable, and biases baked into the algorithm can lead to unfair outcomes. There are already examples of AI making discriminatory decisions in hiring, lending, and law enforcement. When such technology is scaled up into a national or international social credit system, the stakes become monumental.